Welcome, everybody, to the Legendarium Green Team. Today, we're finishing the Rain Wilds 4-book series, whatever the term for that is called, with Blood of Dragons. And with me today, as always, I have Rapskull's number one defender, Sean.
Yikes. I'm Sean. Silk Song is real.
And we have Hebe's number one fan, Kiptan.
I mean, much more defensible. Hello.
I'm jealous of your nickname.
I'm Yetti Beats, and we did it. We are like 75% of done of Realm of the Elderlings. Does that
More than
check
75.
out? All right.
Though we didn't do the first trilogy, so
That's true. All right, well, never mind. No. But yeah, we finished arguably her weakest series with the Rain Wilds, and yeah, it's Sean's second time reading, my second time reading, and Kip, since it's your
I'm
first
a
time
newbie.
reading, you finished it and you read it in like 2 days. So I'm assuming, what'd you think? It was great.
Yeah. I was ready. I was very much ready, though I was not ready for it to end the way that it did, and we'll get there. But overall, I think I enjoyed this series.
You say that about every Hobb series we read, right?
Okay.
Didn't love
Well,
the
the
way
other
it ended.
the other ones were better. We'll get right into that, should we?
No. All right. So you overall enjoyed it, but not the way it ended, I guess is your take.
Well, listeners of our previous episode will know how I was hoping for this book to end, and we know that it didn't go in accordance with all of my predictions.
Yeah, that's fair. Sean, your second read through, was it as good, worse?
I would say for this book specifically, as good, roughly. It was my favorite of the four. When I read through it the first time, that remains to be so. Dragon Keeper, I found to be stronger my second time through. What's the second one?
Dragon Haven, right? Or City of Dragons?
Yeah.
No, Dragon Haven.
Dragon
Haven. Dragon Haven I found to be worse. Or no, the same. Yeah, the same. City of Dragons I found to be worse. This one, the same, but was and is my favorite of the four.
Blood of Dragons to me has like the most like visceral images from all four. Like I can like picture like things that happen in this book more clear than the other ones sometimes get jumbled, where I was like, oh, this definitely happened in this book, this definitely happened in this book. Maybe because there's like a lot of resolutions and things, but I don't know if that means it's the best. I have a few problems with stuff, but I don't know. For me, there was like sections that like bored me to tears, and then other sections that I thought were like Hobb at her A game, and like once she got going, it's like, oh, I couldn't stop turning the pages. But it was like a real high and low for that.
For this book or book 3?
For this book, yeah, Blood of Dragons.
That's fair.
What would you, Kip, like out of 5 stars, let's say, how would you rate this one?
Let's say
It's a 3.5.
Okay, that's better than 2.
Yeah. No, it's solid. It's serviceable. It's a little heavy-handed and a little long-winded. But then also really wraps things up in a neater bow than I was expecting.
might have to play Blood of Dragons Defender on this recording. Seems like it. I'm getting that vibe.
What Kip, how would you rank, if you know off the top of your head, each book?
Ooh. Um, that's so hard.
Wow.
I'm gonna say book 1 is at the top. Then it's Blood of Dragons. Then Dragon Haven, then City of Dragons.
Wow.
Brutal.
Oh, actually, yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, agreed. City of Dragons was the worst.
First book probably
Nothing
is the best.
happened. Almost nothing happened in City of Dragons.
It's true.
How could you say that? It has one of the best sequences in the whole series.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
And
does.
if it
But still,
it
that was
didn't
like
have
a
that,
book.
Be unreadable.
if
You just
it didn't have that one saving grace, I would say it was filler.
look at this guy. I would say you just think City of Dragon Keeper is the best because we get the most of, if you haven't read the first book yet, it's fine, but you get the most of Cedric and Hest and their little society.
You
That's where you get
do,
the most.
but also you get the most, I would say, social mystery. You get the
Yeah.
most like measured reveal of a backstory. You
Mm.
get the best pacing for character establishment. Uh, and the novelty of the bird keepers is still fresh and feels like it might go
Yeah.
somewhere.
Birdkeeper's stuff does peak in book 1, I'd say.
What we did last episode? We didn't talk about them at all. We totally forgot.
Yeah.
I feel like I did. I feel like I said something about, okay, does everyone hate Birdkeeper? What's her name?
The tattooed one? Or, yeah.
Kim? Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that in the group
Keeper
chat. I don't know
Kim?
about the recording.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah, so
not.
you can let me know if this is like, we should talk about this in spoilers, but like the live ship traders, when we read that, I came away from, especially for the first time, Hobbs like world building. I was so excited for where the series could go. Because I was like, oh, it's like really expanding it. There's so many different directions like I want to read about in this world. And by the time this series ends, like all my enthusiasm for that is like dead. Does that make sense? Where it's like, oh, she's
Nope,
just not
totally
in.
makes sense.
She's like,
Totally makes sense.
it's just like, oh, she's just not interested in that stuff for the most part. I mean, like, still, yeah.
She's not interested in making a whole bunch of mages all over the place, and I resent her for that. I seriously resent her for saying, no, magic is hard and it doesn't come naturally, and you need education, skills, materials, and the dragons aren't going to do squat to encourage it.
Yeah. No, I know. I just like live ships. You get the serpents, that island. You get whatever I guess the Elderlings, the voices, or something like. There's just pirates, different lands. Like you have all the stuff where it's like, oh, this realm of the Elderlings is like huge, and there's everywhere
A
we could
real
go.
map you can point to.
Right. And at this point, it's like, oh, we have one trilogy left, and it's Fitz based, so and then that's it. So the world building things kind of, I don't know. Did you feel that way, Sean? Like it's just the world building kind of went smaller after the series, weirdly.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was enjoying Kelsingra and Dragon exposure with a better foundation of skill knowledge this time around. I was like
Are
making
we
more
in spoiler
connections.
territory for the record?
Yeah, probably right.
I guess so. That's why I said
We're
stop
still
me if we are.
we're still being vague? Question mark.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Nothing that hasn't found out in the
I don't
new book.
know. We
I
just
say
talked
Kelsingra.
about
All right.
Kelsingra.
Yeah, no longer spoiler free. Spoiler free is done with. Entering spoiler zone now. Turn back if you want. Okay. Yeah, so I do feel like having more comfort, just my comfort level with a skill and like skill theory, what skill can do, which is akin to silver at this point, right? And however they're related, or maybe they're one and the same. But it was, I was like making more connections, like, oh, this makes sense that this works this way with skill being influenced into the composition. So that stuff was kind of cool, and it like let my world building knowledge and like my comfort with the world building expand. So that was nice. But I do feel like I think I asked Kip early on in this subset, you know, like Kip, I asked your opinion on like if this is what elderlings are, would you be disappointed, for example? Something to that effect. And I feel like at this point you're like, okay, or a reader could be like, all right, these are what elderlings are. I have a strong knowledge of the magic systems at play. Dragons are fully here now. Like, what other mysteries are there really? And yeah, I mean, not too much. This is I feel like we have we have a good picture of the world at this point, and I feel like when I was reading Farseer, I did expect more, even into live ships, but I'm comfortable with where it ended up. Yeah, I don't know about you guys.
I mean, we see them go through all of these memories of the city, and it just ignores all of the parts of the magic that she doesn't want to talk about. Uh,
Like which
We
ones, for
have,
example?
like, for example, the traveling via the map room,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
uh, or telepathy, or skill sending, or other aspects of being able to use the skill in a combative or utilitarian view. Literally, the only thing they do with it in this book is make things light up, heat up, or remember things.
Or like be a resistance armor thing.
Yeah. She kind of like name drops what this stuff could do in the past, but never really gets into it. Um, except yeah, the hot tubs heating the water.
It is like more of a substitute for technology than like maybe one would expect like the next level of skill understanding to be past Farseer magic. Right.
Yep. Yep. The farce like Fitz seems to be more of a mage than any of these elderlings or the elderlings that we see in the past.
Right.
Right. And the former makes sense to me. The latter is more
Does
surprising.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for telepathy to develop, and it never did. Just between dragons and their bonded riders.
Yeah, which is like a thing. Like that is skill at play there, right?
Yep.
But yeah, like outside of that, not so much. And it does raise more questions like how there was one mention of this. I really should have taken note of it, but there's like a mention of I think like it might be Centaura or Tintaglia mentions like, oh, humans could become adept using silver, this and that. And I feel like that ended up being, I guess, part of like the Farseer lineage. But yeah, it does bring the question up, like, why are the Farseers so adept in it?
Right. That's like my big question. Is like why, like what happened in the lineage that they're so adept and like did they breed with elderlings? But like you guys said, the elderlings doesn't seem like they can do all that much compared to the Farseers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe magical knowledge was never put into the memories in the stone,
I could
which
see that, but like,
seems impossible
I
to
don't.
do if it was well integrated into their society.
Yeah, not not one of it. I mean, there's out of all the stuff they put in the stones. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless they didn't, I don't know. It just
Which really cuts down on the idea that elderlings are nothing but repeated imprints of uh, memories and personalities that they pick up from the memory stone. That, like, an
Mhm.
elderling is this collage or assemblage of people from the past that they
right.
remember and revive into themselves. And perhaps the secret magical memories are just not kept somewhere where they found them. Maybe that's in the giant rent in the ground that rocked Kelsingra and destroyed it. But that seems either extremely convenient or something that the dragons would want to remedy. Maybe Sylvie is going to be some sort of master mage someday when Mercor decides that she's ready for it. But
Yeah.
Right.
I'm disappointed.
But it just goes to show, like, that's just not the type of books that I think,
Nope,
cares about.
nope. It's
Like,
not a Hobb book. It's not a Hobb book if there's a competent mage. I'm sorry.
yeah. Oh, she's just more interested in the character dynamics than that stuff. But she'll like flower these or like put these seeds out about the magic, kind of lure you in and get you excited, and then not really pay it off.
We haven't had a good mage since like what, Kettle?
You don't think Fitz is a good mage?
No.
Okay.
I think he's a strong mage. I don't think he's a
Yeah.
good one.
Mm,
Or
mm,
yeah,
I think
his
he's a lucky mage.
Nettle's good in
Yeah.
dreams.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, okay.
I what's his name? I can't think of his name.
Web.
No, the one who's super strong but has a disability.
Oh, thick.
Thick. Come on,
Yeah, thick.
he's,
Thick. You're not happy with
he's
thick?
got, yeah, he's awesome. Don't downplay his abilities. Come on.
Another strong mage, not a good one.
No, I guess so. All right. Let me I might as well do a recap for those
Oh
listening
yeah.
to the best I could, but just to refresh everyone. All right, here we go. So we start out Tintaglia is both pregnant and wounded bad, and then Icefire decided to leave and leave her on her own. He said, "Peace out." Elise and Tats bond. Tats tells her there's always a place for her here, while she helps with the Thymara situation. And then they watch Ranculus almost drown while trying to fly. Tats and Thymara talk about the Rapskull thing. Tats is typically hypocritical and a little forceful about being with her. And then they see wolves. Then Centaura comes down and destroys them. We get Selden arriving with the Duke and is treated poorly. Malta and Rain are on their way to Kelsingra. They worry about Ephron's health. He's definitely sick. And we return back to Hest, who comes home to find his lover and Sanad Arik dead via the assassin. Selden meets the Duke, gets sent after like nibbling on Selden. He is sent to stay with the Duke's treacherous daughter. And then Leftrin arrives back and sees followers following them in the impervious ships. Yeah. And
Yep.
eventually, dragons attack them. Leftrin's a little worried about that. The keepers enter Kelsingra and explore. Centaura preaches importance of silver in the city. Selden meets the Duke's daughter, realizes he's about to be eaten. Hest goes with the assassin and joins a ship to Kelsingra. There's a mutiny by the Chalcidians. Again, these comic booky villains, these guys. Tintaglia, almost to Kelsingra, is near death. Hears Chalcid and Jamilians fighting, goes to sleep, wakes up to them, surprise attacking her. Malta begs dragons for help to heal Ephron. They say only Tintaglia can do so. Carson and Cedric house hunt and stumble upon a well for silver. Rapskull and Tats talk about Thymara and decide what they should do with her, typical bro fashion. But does lead to Tats and Thymara having a fairly good conversation for once. They get a little closer. Oh, this part. Selden, the Elec comes in and tries to rape the Duke's daughter. Selden tries to protect her, gets knocked out. She is raped, and then we find out Selden admits he was sexually assaulted. Rape in Hobb books. Tintaglia tries to attack the ship. They find her wound, and she's near death. Calls out for help. Rapskull hears it, and dragons fly out to help. They kill the Chalcidians and take some hostages. Tintaglia is left for dead. Kalo stays behind to eat her, apparently, but instead he feeds her. Almost done here. Duke sucks Selden's wrist, almost killing him. Offers his daughter a new choice and a treaty. Hostages are brought back, and everyone argues about what should be done. Hest sees Elise and Cedric in their new lives, confronts them, tries to manipulate them and everyone else about what happened. They both own up to everyone and stand up to Hest together. Malta hears Tintaglia coming. Rapskull makes Thymara go down the well. She gets the silver to flow because of her old memories. Eventually, that heals Tintaglia. My favorite part, Hest tries to seduce Davy, fails. Tries to seduce Cedric, fails. Tries to tame Kalos, fails, and gets eaten. Icefire returns and says he's been poisoned and everyone should help him attack Chalcid. They all agree, and they go. Dragons attack Chalcid, save Selden and the Duchess. The hostages back in Kelsingra jump in the river, kill themselves. Leftrin goes on Paragon with Brashen and Althea. Offers to take Boyo. Paragon throws a fit. And Tats and Tymara bang while dragons mate above them. And the bird people had a fraudulent tattooed who was eventually found out. And Keeper Kim. Boom. Look at that. Blood of dragons.
Nice.
The bird story ended up being almost entirely parallel and unnecessary.
Yeah, I like.
Didn't affect the story at all, right?
I remembered caring about it more, and this time I was like, these are all like not enjoyable to read. It was nice seeing Detozi and Kim get married, or Detozi and Eric get married.
I guess.
And then that was sweet. I liked that cap on the epigraphs in the first book, and then from then on it's just like back and forth about caring for birds, back and forth about some sort of malpractices with Keeper Kim. Although, like, I did appreciate how Hobb worked it in that, like, the reason that we're even seeing, like, these, like, for example, Hess' mother's letters. The reason we're even seeing that is because they're leaked, right? That's how I took it, at least.
I don't know if we can read that into what we see.
Maybe
because we also see like private letters between Eric and Detozi, which I'm pretty sure were not intercepted by Kim at any point.
Yeah, that logic probably tracks.
Yeah, I mean, I only appreciated it to get like updates with like, was it Ronica who sent a letter asking about Selden or stuff like that? But was that worth it for the story? No, I mean, not at all.
No.
Speaking of, I did love Hess' mother's letter though. I mean, she's that whole family. She's a saint. I mean, that how did she get stuck with that?
Comparatively, she's an enabler.
Yeah, she's like typical, like super rich, super pampered.
Yeah,
wants to pamper everyone around her. Yeah, and an enabler. Yeah, but the dramatic irony of like her inquiring after Hest, asking these questions like, "Oh, why did you bring Redding?" Or like, "I support bring Redding." Like, makes sense. Meanwhile, he's like dead and things like that. But yeah,
just a loving mother. I mean, compared to the father, who's just incredibly cruel to Hest. Which I don't feel bad for Hest, but
I mean, the father had it right.
It's true. It's tough.
Even the father was too forgiving. Not that you can fix Hest. Not that Hest is fixable in any way.
Yeah. All right. Well, so where should we start with Blood of Dragon? Should we get into Kelsingra in general and just kind of the dragons and keepers finding it? And because that's like the big crux of this book was them
recovering it.
Yeah, recovering, getting it back up and started, and getting the silver, which is apparently so important to the story. Was that to you, Kip? Was that a good payoff? Everything that happened, them finding it, turning the lights on, moving the story forward, the bigger story about.
When I compare it to a big dumb object story like Rendezvous with Rama, I am so disappointed in the lack of exploration of Kelsingra. So disappointed. And even in something that doesn't necessarily give up any of its secrets, something like Ellie Modesit's Solar Express, all Also super disappointed, even though that book is nothing more than exploring a whole bunch of empty rooms.
Hmm.
There's significantly more uh, attention paid to the archaeology or the scientific exploration, which is sure, Elise has a little bit of it, but her attempts to do it are more comical than logically inspiring.
Hmm.
Yeah, we essentially get two main instances
It's
of the
just
secrets of
it's not a
Kelsinger being
focus of
explored.
the book. It's not a focus of the book.
It could have been incorporated pretty easily though. Like, so we get Rapskull and Thamara doing Teletor and Amarinda's lives, and it's mostly focused around them having sex.
Oh, you call him
Cool.
Teletor. Interesting. I've never said it yet, but I was calling him I was calling him Tellator.
Ew.
Like alligator. The audiobook definitely says Teletor.
So, wow. So like that's the like this city is built to learn, right? Like that's emphasized over and over. And they learn about these two having sex a bunch, and then Elise like dabbles here and there and gets overwhelmed pretty easily. We don't really know much. We don't really learn much about what she learned. And then Rapskull and Thamara, other than the sex stuff, they learn a bit about Teletor and Amarinda, respectively. And like that's it. Even though the city is apparently wall to wall, like you can learn here, touch this stone, learn this, learn this. It even could have been like a montage essentially of like Sylvie being like, hey, I went in this stone, I learned this, and like it would have been so easy just to like do a little more.
Yeah, supposedly you can't walk through the city without seeing these mirages, but they figure so non-prominently
Yeah.
in the plot and descriptions that it's I just want to hold Hobb up and shake her until more details
Please.
fall out,
Yeah.
like a Scooby-Doo villain.
RPG loot.
It just makes it obvious to me that like she only like cared about like narratively getting to the silver and like kind of one step after another because the silver will heal dragons and that'll continue. Like everything else was kind of like a bonus that she didn't really care to explore too much. Other than like little nuggets about like Teletor and like him being a warrior, one of their warrior dragon guys. You kind of learn about that because he brings it
Yeah,
up. But
and you
that's
learn
not
that they used to fight in between cities for the silver.
yeah. But like you said, this huge city, and when we first meet it, there's visions walking around and everything, and mostly it's just
And the book ends on it too. The book ends on them like basically walking into visions.
oh right, yeah. I don't know. It's just that's what I mean. Where just the scope just really went just minimized, in my opinion, when it did that. Where it's like, oh, this isn't as big of a fantasy world as I thought it was, or she
I
cares it to
I
be.
ne- I need another Kelsingra development trilogy.
Right. Like that's what I was thinking too. Like the writing was almost on the wall where it's like this is being explored in the smallest, lowest stakes books of the overall arching series. And it's only done once. Like yeah, there's no Rain Wilds Part 2. Helsinger
Yeah,
edition.
yeah.
And it's kind of like that's the thing. Then why did we need like why was the Selden stuff there then? Exactly. Why couldn't it just been all more fleshed out Rain Wild Kelsingra stuff? You know? Because to
Yeah, I
me,
mean,
not to jump around, but like the
Because
Selden
we had to end like the Duke and his never-ending lust for dragon parts.
and it was like
That had to get finished.
it was so fast tracked. Like you just meet the Duke, he dies off screen. You barely get to meet the Duchess and Selden other than they have like a meet cute. Like that was the most rushed kind of like I don't know, implementation. I feel like that could have been a trilogy of its
Selden's
own. Just
whole appearance
yeah.
midway through the series was rushed.
Yeah, I don't like you could have focused on him alone in a whole other book about from where he got to that point, then kind of try to
Yep.
split them up with Rain Wild, Kelsinger stuff. It's almost like she half I don't know the non curse word of this, but half you know what both stories and didn't
Half
really
planned.
make. Yeah, thank you. So I don't know. It's kind of frustrating, even though I like this book, and it's just kind of at the end of the day leaves you wanting a bit.
Oh, wait, and I'm used to that from Hobb, but this one leaves me wanting more than usual.
I think it's because like after like live ships, like I'm saying, I'm like, oh well, if you're left wanting, there's like, well, there's like 8 more books or however many more left to go. Like we'll get something, we'll get whatever fill I
I
need
agree.
that I didn't get in this trilogy. But now we're like, oh, there's 3 books,
I'm
and it's
shocked there's only 3 books left. I didn't
yeah,
know. I'd been avoiding information about the last Hobb books because
yeah,
people seem to be unable to talk about them, even just in the titles, without spoiling things.
I know it's a problem.
So so I kind of thought there were 6 more books after this.
Could have been, should have been, but
I mean, I feel like Selden's implementation, like I personally can just take it for what it is. Sure, you can introduce him in Dragon Keeper, you can have him more fleshed out, you can take more page time, but then like, is that what we really want? Maybe
No.
then we would
No.
we would have been okay, yeah, because like maybe then we'd be saying, oh, it would develop too slowly. We spent 4 books Selden sitting in a cell and or a tower cell. So I don't know. And like
I'm already
I
complaining
liked
about him, so
yeah,
yeah, and I mean and him maybe a more expansive journey getting to that point. Also, I can't say I'm in. I'd be in for that. I liked his. I mean, I wouldn't say I liked his arc, but I like the Duchess. I like the relationship that they built up a bit towards the end. I was bought in on it despite not being, despite the page count for that stuff not being too long. Um, I mean, Selden, a lot of it was just like him going through it, like really giving us like a personal attachment to how bad Chalcidians were past their desire for dragon blood. Um, yeah, when we learned that Selden was sexually assaulted, I was like, I mean, even this go around, I don't. I guess I probably
that
forgot, but I
was
was
in
like,
the first chapter.
yeah, yeah, but I was like appalled. Like it was,
Uh no, that was basically last book we found that out.
oh really? I don't remember
mm,
that.
Yeah. He just confesses it for real this time.
Right.
But I'm very used to characters thinking about something but not actually saying everything. So,
I don't know what the Duke's daughter. I felt had way more promise than what actually we got. Like I would have loved to see her actually try to like start a revolt in Chalcid and something like that. Instead, they're just in a
yeah,
room the whole time. Like they're not. And for me, it didn't. Their bonding didn't really make sense to me. It's just like not make sense, but I just didn't buy it. Where it's like, oh, he's the first person to kiss me without like being a raping asshole or something like that, and he, and she's the
a
first one showing me
gentleman.
compassion. A gentleman, yeah. And it's like, all right, I get it, and I'm happy for them, but it's just I couldn't care less at a certain point. I was like, really, I was just like, Selden, you've been through the worst stuff in the world. I get it. I feel bad for you, bro, but just get the dragons to come kill the Chalcid Duke right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was upset. I was very upset. That what I wanted didn't happen.
what did you want exactly?
But I saw the writing on that wall early, so I didn't hold on to hope. I wanted them to portal over to the
Oh
Chelsea
yeah,
Palace.
And Kip's like, "Where's the magic in this damn book?"
Where's the magic?
He's furious.
yeah. I mean, the attack was very efficient and effective, at least without the use of the stones. But I was really concerned that Selden, on my first read through, of course, I was really concerned that Selden and or the Duchess would die in the attack. Um,
Of
also, like
course.
when Tintaglia broke formation in like a lot of other stories, like that messes up the attack. She gets harpooned or whatever, but yeah, no consequences for that. Yeah, at that point, I mean, there was a lot of dragons, there was a lot of venom flying around. It's believable enough for me, but yeah, and a lot of other series that breaking formation like that has consequences.
Yeah, and they also brought up all these things that could go wrong during like an attack, the venom and the horrifying ways that could happen to keepers riding on the
Yeah,
back, and nothing happens. They just
and nothing
it's
even gets
all goes,
mentioned
and you
as
don't even
happening.
yeah, you
And
don't
it's
even
like
see it.
if you're about to run through venom, breathe in. It'll end faster that way.
Which is like a cool
you,
scene, like learning about that stuff and horrifying, but
you don't even get like a Rapskull dodged the spear. Like you get like
no.
no threats.
Nope.
No threats
Nope.
are mentioned, which is like fine because it's at that point it's just like padding, like extra like action
There weren't
padding,
any
but it
pages
is
left. I
funny.
knew nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, it's the very end. You don't even
But
see
for
the Duke
me,
die. It's off screen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. But for me, the climax of the book was the well.
Yes.
Or were you thinking something different, Yeti?
No, you just said climax, and at the end of the book, Tats and Taimar have sex. So it was just I
Ah,
was like, see what
yeah.
anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the emotional climax was like,
Cedric
I
and
mean,
Hess.
no,
That was
that
fun.
was nice. That was great though. But it was like them Tintaglia almost dying, like kind of the rising action in the climax, like Tintaglia almost dying, them saving her, her barely making it back alive,
Yeah.
uncovering the well. Like that whole sequence I thought was very high stakes, very like intense, a lot of like driving plot points leading into each other. And then like the well being uncovered or whatever verb you want to use was like a big moment for me on both read throughs as like a satisfying like prevailing moment.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like Hobb cared about writing about was the silver in the well and getting it back to the dragons or
And
the
yeah,
Elderlings.
and the attack on Calsa was just like a victory lap.
Yeah, they're like,
Yep.
well, did
Freshly
Kip?
empowered dragons.
Yeah, yeah. Like, was there any like doubt they were gonna not f that thing up? Like, it's like I guess maybe one dragon would fall, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The worst that happened was when Tintaglia dove on the deer and then like Rain gets like slapped in the face with a deer
I know.
carcass. That was like the worst thing that happened.
Did you, Kip? Did you ever think that Tintaglia was gonna die throughout this book?
No. No. I got the feeling that major protagonist deaths were done for the series. Because if Tintaglia had died earlier, then Malta's baby would have died.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
Yeah,
didn't
but
see that
like
happening.
it didn't feel tense to you at all.
No.
not at all.
Wow.
You're like, that wound will clean itself up.
I felt they're gonna get back. There's gonna be silver. It's gonna be enough.
And I don't know, man, like when Malta is like rallying the troops, like pleading to save her baby and like sending everyone off to save Tintaglia, I was like feeling it. I was like, wow, this is a different kind of cool. These books do some unique things, in my
I
opinion.
mean, I felt like Malta was doing the right thing. I liked that she had the gumption and the faith, but I knew that she was going to succeed. I had
I
no
mean, yeah,
doubt in my mind that Tintaglia was going to come back and save the baby. How?
probably same.
Sure. Things how might have been different in my imagination. But I was expecting her to be on the verge of death, and that is what happened.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
I will say, last thing about the battle, like just again showing that Rain is an awful husband. His his son was just like saved and brought back to life, and or
Going to war.
leaving his wife again. Like he stinks. This guy stinks. They'd definitely be divorced.
It,
She'd be like, "Who's with this guy?"
it's got to be an elderling thing. That's got to be a dragon thing.
Tintagli didn't need him. What the guy, sit down, dude. You don't know.
Like,
He has
the
a little
men
bit of
go
screen.
off to war and they die, and that's their job.
The men in this series, man, real piece of work. Even Icefire, like Icefire does not
Oh,
care that
Icefire's
Tintaglia is
terrible.
dying, and then he gets attacked,
And
he gets
she
poisoned,
and she was
comes flying
carrying
to
his
Hellsinger like
children.
everyone. Yeah, the first generation of new babies. He gets inconvenienced, comes crying back to Kelsingra.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we gotta go, we gotta deal with this, guys. Like now it's serious.
Well, I like how hers was like she had like a poison arrow stuck in her that was infested, and he essentially just had food poisoning from like a bad cow. And he's like, "Hey, these guys are
Yep.
really, we got to get revenge on him." She's,
Yep.
you know, he wasn't going to
That
die
was
from it. He
Hobbs'
was just
way of
inconvenienced.
that was Hobbs' way of talking about how like when men get a cold, they like feel like they're gonna die. They make it everyone's problem. When women, they get their arm chopped off and they like react less intensely. That whole thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, we get it.
Yeah, you ever been through one of those period simulators?
No.
This is the first time
No?
hearing about this.
What do they like strap something to your
Yeah.
Yeah, they strap
your stomach area?
electroshock stuff to your stomach area and they simulate period cramps.
Wow.
Today I learned.
Can't be worse than a common cold though.
Yeah. So you said it. The one thrust of the story, I think, of this book was the silver and kind of unlocking that. I think the other thrust of the story and what throughout the whole series that I was kind of revving up to and excited for was essentially Hest return meeting up with Cedric and Elise and kind of confronting that whole situation. On the reread, Sean, did that live up to it? Hess getting there and when he arrives trying to manipulate them and everyone around them playing the good guy and kind of, it getting thrown in his face.
Yeah, I mean, I like it's entertaining watching Hest work. Like you see whether you're in Cedric or Alice's POV, you recognize them being like, oh, Hest recovered from like maybe an unexpected turn in the conversation, like flipped it back in his favor, and like you notice them, or they mention how they noticed that, and you're like, oh yeah, that's typical Hest, and like having Hest in these conversations is a good time. It's pretty entertaining. And then like both first and second time, Cedric and Alisa moved on, and just it is very satisfying having Hest even like try to get them back in any capacity. It's like, man, they have no attachment to you. They hate you. They like the fact that you think that you have any power over them is hilarious, and it ends up being the case that he has no power over them. In fact, they have power over him in many ways.
It's just the total obliviousness of it from him is just almost comical, where it's like how strong-headed he is that he has no even inkling that they could change at all, especially Cedric, you know.
Yeah, he must think a lot of himself to think that he can win them back over in any way.
Right.
Yeah, he tried. For me, it was most comical when he's talking to Kalo. Like, I mean, I think it's believable enough. You could truly think a dragon is like a essentially a cow with wings, right? But also not really.
But he also sees who can
Yeah.
tame them. He sees like a little girl like Sylve taming them, or not taming them, but being with them, and he thinks like, oh, I mean, how if they
Yeah,
can
I can
do it?
claim a
How go me?
dragon.
He doesn't know. Again, if he would have listened to his wife, he doesn't have the education that Elise had. He was never interested in it, so he doesn't know how it works. But he just sees a child and a dragon together. He's like, oh, of course I can do it. You need force like a horse.
I don't know why you would ever compare a dragon to an herbivore.
Yeah.
But go Hest. Maybe he's never been in the same room as a real predator. I find him mildly disappointing as an
Yeah.
antagonist in this
Yeah,
book. I
definitely.
find that his social acumen is severely degraded,
Yeah.
and that his
He's out of his element.
his ability to read the room is just non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
unquestionably.
you can read that as him being out of his element and him requiring like a higher form of society or societal conventions or
Hmm.
perhaps just a more conservative form of society in order for him to use his manipulative behaviors because so much of what he does relies on the threat of exposure.
Yeah.
But you can also just read it as he got hit with an idiot ball, this book, compared to his portrayal in the previous books.
Yeah, but especially when you think about like how like the behaviors on display in this book, you would think that there would be things that when he was a trader, when doing his trading duties in Calcit or wherever, like he's gonna, even though you could grant him being out of his element now, these things would carry over into those situations. Like there are consistencies with how he acts in this book that you would think would also have been consistent as a trader. So it's like
Yep.
either
I've
either he like failed upwards as a trader, or there was a bit of a switch in his competency, which I feel like the latter is more forgivable as far as reading it goes, I guess. But yeah, like neither are a good look with establishing him as like a good antagonist.
yeah, I'm not a fan of the ways that he's been portrayed as dealing with Chalcedeans. It
Yeah,
it really seems like he dropped several steps since we started getting his
yeah,
POV.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's why I had the problem with Chalcedeans just
Like
in general. Like,
I've known some mean gays and they're not this dumb.
well, but he also like let's play it out. He always had someone with him, like a helper, his portly friend who was killed, or Cedric, or someone when he's doing these tradings. Like, I don't think he ever. It was said he goes
Not always
alone. He has a.
with him.
He's not.
Like
He
he
has.
would meet with Chalcedeans on his own, not always with Cedric. He'd like send Cedric off on errands and missions and things while he would meet with Chalcedeans.
Yeah, but he'd meet with
Yeah.
him at his home, and like that's what I mean. The one he doesn't meet is an
No, but he'd
assassin.
take trips to Chalced.
Well, that's why I'm saying they're inconsistent. Why is this? He could do it there, but once he meets one assassin, he's thrown for a loop. So it's like
Yeah,
I don't. You know, are these guys all assassins? Are they all held hostage by the Duke? Or I don't know. Like you said, you would think he'd have more experience, but this book it wasn't like he was an idiot. He just had someone who
yeah. This
would kill
assassin does
him.
seem exceptional, but
Yeah.
uh, I also find his scenes of captivity along with the other traders to be not particularly great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that he found some sort of new place for himself as a menial servant in order to not be lumped in with the other traders who wanted to kill him. But I can't complain that he didn't learn enough from that because I'm not really sure that a guy like Hest is all that capable of
No.
maintaining humility.
I just don't think he was ever put in a position like this to have to survive. Like I think he was always just had a leg up, either because who his dad was, or just the area he would trade in. But he was just always he couldn't
Sure,
adapt. Like I think that's the
sure.
whole thing of the series. So many other people can adapt and change, and he just couldn't. He just relied on the same old things, and he just
I
pushed
think
through it until it backfired.
I think Hobb wanted Hest to serve as an object lesson for how dragons keep humanity humble. And so that's why he died that way.
I like that chain of thinking. That maybe justifies his whole character existing.
Yeah. There definitely was more promise in the first book as him as a villain. I mean, I think narratively it was
Yeah.
kind of a
His
letdown.
dialogue was so much better.
Yeah. And just even like I liked Cedric
Yeah.
and Elise kind of confronting him and that whole thing where they stick up for each other. But it almost felt too easy, if that makes sense, where it's like this is
Eh,
all leading up to this confrontation, and then it's like, they just put him in his place because they've changed and he hasn't, and they don't, they learn. But I almost felt that I remember the Live Ship trilogy. I brought that up with Kyle. I mean, spoilers for the Live Ship trilogy, but where he just dies in the third book by a random arrow, and there's no like going back to Bingtown. They
yep.
have to confront Kyle, still in the family. They're like, oh, let's just kill. Hobbs like, I'll just randomly kill him, and then family move on. As it is. There's no kind of real finishing with that, and this is the same way. They don't
Well,
even know he's dead. They don't even know
also,
he's.
all of the real antagonism or like divisive fractiousness in the Keeper group is gone by the end of this book. It's gone by the start of this book, really. It's Rapskull versus Tats for Thymara. That is the
Yeah,
only
that's it.
conflict that the Keepers have.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Well, by the end of the book, yeah. Well, I was gonna say because there is that conflict about what to do with the hostages. Rapskull says we should put them to death. Other people don't want to do that, and I think it's still kind of left in the air. Like, is Carson part of it or Leftrin head of it? They don't really
Again,
know.
it's Rapskull versus uh
Whoever wants
whoever.
to get in his way.
Yeah. And
Just
Interesting.
I did not find Rapskull entertaining as a faction of dissidents in Kelsingra.
I disagree. I thought one of the more riveting parts was him drowning in the memories of Teletor.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. As a personal character, interesting. As a faction, though, as like a side, as a representative slice of disagreements in
Right.
human
It-
culture,
right.
he
It was all.
he wasn't one.
It was all well only with him and Tats and Tamara, like only like romantically. Was it?
Yep.
Yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't like Greft. How Greft had a.
No,
You know. Yeah. When we lost him, I think we lost something with Greft. They kind of tried to move Rapskull into that position, but
I agree.
didn't totally work.
But it made it so that Hest was never going to have any sort of fertile ground to sow malcontent in the Keepers.
Great
Because
point. And see,
everyone knew Elise, everyone knew Leftrin, and at that point, everyone knew Cedric.
yeah.
And
But
each of them had way more credibility than Hest was ever going to have.
Right. Yeah. There's never a threat that's a great point. And also just the dragons there. Like I just never felt like when they said, "Oh, people were gonna come because they have the ships that can get there and stuff." It's
Yep.
like you have all dragons. No one's gonna
Yep.
like. There's no world in where anyone's gonna take over this city from you guys.
and Kim, I'm glad you mentioned that kind of wrinkle with Hess because I think one way that Hess could have had a better performance this book is, as unfortunate as it would have been, I think the Hest we knew could have won Dabby over, and then like that could have been a whole
Yeah.
other conflict.
Yep.
I didn't buy that
It-
at
it-
all. That yeah.
if he was afforded the page time to work over Dabby a bit, I mean, like
Get his
Dabby.
bearings.
Yeah, exactly. And like Dabby loved the kid, but he's susceptible to that. Like it was
Definitely.
established that he was susceptible
He's
to
young.
that. Yeah. I mean, Hess came on a bit strong, but like he could have not came on as strong if there was more time there.
I'm not
That's
sure
what he
Hest
does.
really knows any other way.
Yeah, that's what he did to Cedric out in the rain.
That's true. But yeah, like that could have been a thing. Dabby could have been an ally to Hest, and then that could have really complicated things
Right.
in like the dramatic, juicy gossip fashion that we knew and loved from Dragon Keeper. But we got what we got. I will say too, though, for Hest, this isn't where I defend Hest, but
Here we go.
I I want to offer him some empathy because it is true that he felt like he couldn't live the life he truly wanted to live in Bingtown. And he saw what Kelsinger was doing for a lot of these people, and he envied that. He wanted a piece of that in his kind of selfish, materialistic way. but he did see the value in Kelsingra. He saw that in Kelsingra he could be himself. He could kind of escape the stigma that his parents put on him and these other societal stigmas. And I do feel like he was a bit of a victim of that. He ended up becoming he ended up what's the word? Perpetrating that. Is that the word? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is true also, but in a different world, he was only a victim, and he was still a victim, but I did feel for him that a lot of these people were in similar situations, just different flavors of it.
I didn't read that at all. I didn't. I mean, because I
I mean,
thought
he
it was
mentions
just
that.
yeah. He says that, but he could have if he wanted to do that. Like Cedric's been trying to do that with him the whole time they've known each other. Move away and move somewhere else where they can be like that. Now, maybe he didn't want to do that with Cedric, but
I mean, I don't know if they had enough money to do quite that until he got Dragon Blood. But like at the end of the day, he is a gay man in this society that like where it's
yeah.
very much an underground part of society. And on top of that, his parents being who they are and their expectations for him, they want him to have a kid. So
Yep. Hess
I
didn't want
get
money.
it.
He wanted wealth. And wealth comes with a live ship in Bingtown.
Should have been a pirate.
I'm kind of sad that we didn't get any sort of legal resolution to the dissolution of their marriage contract.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's there's no friction about that. It's just forgotten. It's like, well, it doesn't. He's gone. We don't know where he
He's
is.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. No one even knows he's been eaten except Kalos.
He's got to say something eventually.
I guess it doesn't matter
Please.
because it's like they're not going to go back there, right? She doesn't plan to ever go back
I
to
mean,
Big Town.
no, she
She will.
does plan on getting her pay, getting her shares of
Mm.
things.
I
She
guess.
plans on having a legal existence with bank accounts and assets.
Yeah, that bothered me. Yeah, it's like you're still married. They kind of just shoo it away. Well, you know, but that's what Hobb
Yep,
does. Okay.
she plans on seeing her family again. They're just gonna have to visit.
Can I bring something up about Teletor and drowning in the memories with
Sure.
Rapskull? I really like this part, and I know everyone like hates Rapskull now because what happened, but I don't know if Hobb thought this at all, but it reminded me. I read into it where it's like Rapskull was this like nice kid who was easygoing and always happy and everything, and turns into this like angry or just like controlling man.
Warmonger.
Yeah, for some reason, it reminded me of like a toxic masculinity thing that happens to like young kids, especially young boys, and then as they get older, turn into these. I mean, definitely, and don't want to get too into the weeds in real life, but definitely with the internet and things you can listen to nowadays, it's kind of just the algorithm kind of pushes it to them now. It really reminded me of that, and I don't know. I was trying to think when this was written, but or just how that happens to young
2013
men.
or published
It's
as 13.
too bad Rapskull found the man pillars.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it couldn't have. It didn't seem like a coincidence to me, just because it was such a hard turn, or maybe it was just her version of the drowning in the memories, how dangerous it could be, just like Rain's dad.
I
I
mean,
like that read of it. That's interesting.
I think there's something there about how an innocent, good-natured, and open character can be a weakness to indoctrination and manipulation by a stronger, more malevolent force of will.
It is sad. I mean, he like has a tragic ending and there's no bright spot really as far as where we leave him, right? He's like
No, nothing. I think
almost fully
Rapskull's gone.
lost.
He's
It's
gone.
almost like he's dead. Yeah, I mean,
And he really was like as annoying as I found him. Like he was a sweet kid. He was
He
endearing
was
and
my
like
favorite guy in the series.
well, he's gone.
arguably, like, the dragons don't fly without him and Hebe, showing that it's possible
Yeah,
and pushing it. Like, it's just
he he was vital. He ended up being vital in a different way. Without him, he doesn't push Thymara to go into the well, but like, did it really need to be here? I don't know. That wasn't too believable for me. You could also say that if other keepers were more open to using the stones, they could have taken on the burden of learning these things and like support this these this thought process or these thought processes of like how to be elderlings, and they can contribute to like learning more instead of Rapskull feeling like he had to take on all of who Teletor was.
yeah.
Yep.
He was. I feel like this series, Hobb was kind of trying to talk about the balance you have with traditions and how you don't always have to follow the old rules of traditions, but you also want to move forward, and the balance between both of them. And I feel like it really showed with Rapskull's character Teletor when he would like push back on Elise, like, hey, I think we talked about last episode, like, actually we should be going to Kelsingra and checking it out and bringing it back to life, but also pushing back on him just fully going into this is the new ways we should be doing it, just jumping the stones, and it's all about a balance. And at the last scene is ironically, I think the epilogue is Tintaglia with Kalos and Icefire about going to breed, and Icefire is like, hey, I have the memories of how this is done, you go with me, I protect you, and we do it. And she's like, well, we don't have to do it exactly that way. Kalos will come with us. And like, it's
Yeah.
just that to me was like the whole point of the series, is that like things you can change a little bit while also still having the same traditional values. I thought that was a nice little button, but
A little
I
bit of
agree.
humanity leaking back into the
yeah.
draconic line this time.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely humans are intermingling with dragons and their personalities and ways.
I really like the end note of like the dragons trumpeting in the sky, by the way.
The inability of dragons to make longer term plans was really driven home in this book, which was surprising to me a little bit because
Yeah,
they're always going on about how they think long term.
right. Yeah, like they have long-term lifespans, but short-term kind of like what's the term when like instant gratification. They're like iPhone or tablet kids,
Like ADHD.
iPad
Short attention
kids.
span,
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
highly impulsive.
yeah.
I kind of want to bring up like I don't know if we should, but like Jerd in this book, and just like
I
such.
wish Hobb would have brought Jerd up more.
Yeah, she got
Jerd
brought up more than a lot of other ones.
could have made a good what do you call it? Dissonant group
Yeah.
that I was wanting and just didn't happen. No. Jerd is vain and annoying, and that is it in this book.
Literally,
Also
all we get
horny
from
as
her
all
is
hell.
yeah, like all we get from her is en route to Calcid, and she's like, "Ooh, you think I can go in the stones? You think I can learn sex stuff?"
Yeah,
And
like
Teletor's like, "Yes." That's it.
overwhelmingly. It's just a weird character choice for someone who lost a child in one of the books, and then Hobb like turns her into this like
Eh,
thirst trap. Who's just like,
she didn't care about that kid. It was very clear at the time that she did not care about the kid.
yeah. I don't know. I was definitely reading into something about like promiscuous sex or something like that. Even like back to Starling, I just always feel like there's this weird like demonization of some of the characters. Even like Fitz thinks they're all like hussies, even though he's sleeping around. Well, like three people, but still. I don't know.
Hobb will drop a character on a dime if she's done with them.
Yeah, she really will, and I kind of hate it. I kind of hate it. I didn't
It's a
hate it with
choice.
Kyle. But the way that Hest, Jerd, Greft, Redding, uh, Sinad Arik even.
Even like Elise to an extent, Carson, Cedric, they were like,
Elise has been a very different person at the starts and endings of books sometimes. Like at the start of this one, she was very different than the end of the last one.
yeah,
Her little foray into suicidality was surprising,
it
very
was.
surprising.
Out of nowhere. It was just because she
Yeah,
didn't fit in, right? It's like she had nowhere
Yep.
and
playing
Leftrin
field.
was gone.
At least she didn't actually burn all of her writings, but reminded me of one of my least favorite Fitz moments from the Tawny Man trilogy.
When he lets
When he
the
enables
Pale Lady,
Leaperside.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the scrolls,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, then who who had the best arc from the first book to this book? I mean, it's obviously Cedric, but
It's obviously Cedric. It's obviously Cedric,
yeah.
the low key
No,
protagonist of this series.
I kind of
it's
is, right?
Thymara. Thymara.
Thymar-
Listen, right, all
Thymara's
right.
second, I will
Gun
say,
to gun to
but
both of your heads. You are happy
Thymara
he ended up with
went through
Tats? There's no
puberty.
way.
Kind of.
I could. I
I'm
hated the
happy
ending
because
for her.
she was happy with it, and it was her choice. And Tats also matured just enough to where I didn't hate it.
I mean, my preferred romantic partner for her died, essentially, so that's done.
Greft.
Correct.
No. Yeah, Greft. Yeah. No.
Oh.
Rapscal. Rapscal, come on.
Oh.
Okay, sorry.
Eh.
Yeah. Well, there's no good
Wow.
choice. Why did she have to be with anyone? This is like
Because
Well,
she
yeah, so that's
wants
the
to
thing. She
be.
didn't.
She wants
She
it.
didn't, but yeah, she wanted to be. And Tats, like, 3/4 in this book told her that, like, it's up, take your time. It's up to you. Like, he finally understood
He was like,
the
oh, I
basics.
made mistakes.
yeah, but it's just such a small pool to choose from. It's like she could have just like
Waited.
waited. Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
nothing that had that
Could
said.
waited.
I mean, maybe they aren't together. Maybe they're just boning at the end, and whatever happens, happens. But I don't know. I didn't care for Tats. I didn't care for anyone there. It's like, why not just have your own individuality? And I don't know.
I think Thymara's the only one.
Tats is a teenage boy. He's going to be an idiot, and he'll hopefully grow out of it. And I think that's what Hobb tried to show, was him gaining some level of maturity. That was an acceptable enough level for Thymara.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I feel like Cedric's arc ended when him and Carson became official, essentially. And
no,
then
it ended when he rejected Hest.
Yeah,
that was his
like,
final little bit of closure.
But there was like a book and a half time between like what I said and that, so it was like it ended, and then like, oh, this can finally happen, the official ending. But like,
yeah,
he was largely done developing, minus the bookend of confronting Hest once him and Carson, got all happy together. But Thymara, her kind of arc is established from the beginning, as far as where her character is going, what like thematic elements are revolving around her, and they are fully realized like the last chapter of the series.
Other than the need
from point A to point B, there's like ebbs and flows and developments along the way. So that's why I think she is the best arc.
Other than her rejection of Amarinda, though, every bit of Thymara's arc was predictable. And not just predictable, but extremely, extremely common. And maybe that's the point. Maybe Thymara just has to have this common rejection of lust idiot men. and have this self-acceptance journey through her puberty and realization that maybe marriage is off of the table for her, like she had assumed her whole life. But
Yeah.
every bit of it was predictable, and
Yeah.
nothing shocked me, nothing surprised me. I could have guessed the whole thing, except for her need to reject the ghost of a woman long dead.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing was self acceptance, right? That she didn't accept herself in the beginning of the book of where she was and how she looked compared to everyone. And it
Yep.
seems like at the end, she thought she was beautiful with her wings. And I don't know. I guess that someone else accepted her for who she was and not just as a horn dog. But
Like, I think the Thymara that said yes to Rapskull in the baths is different than the Thymara that said yes to Tats at the end of Blood of Dragons,
Yeah.
which is like these decisions and everything leading up to them. Not that these are the only crucial points, but maybe they're predictable. But I still thought they were well realized and like good character beats.
yeah, it's almost just like the first book, Cedric. Like, there's points with Cedric. It's like you want this dude to die. Like he's gaslighting Elise. He's like trying to kill dragons. Stealing their blood. It's like from there to where we ended up, where it's like, oh, this guy, he's the man. He made something of his life. It's just a total journey. Uh, you know, that's why it reminded me of the one Lannister in Game of Thrones, Jamie. Hate him at first, and then
That one Lannister.
Sorry.
I didn't think you were going to say Jamie, honestly.
You know,
Tywin, of course.
yeah, I mean, should we answer the one question we got on Discord?
The sole question that we already kind of answered.
I know.
Sure.
What was it?
Yeah, so Tormir asked, the Rain Wild Quartet gets badmouthed a lot. How do you feel it compares to the other trilogies? What are its strengths and weaknesses compared to the others? And should it have been 3 books? That answer is it should have been 2 books.
Yeah, I was going to say it should have been 2 books.
Yeah, it should have been 2.
Right? Doesn't even need to be 3.
It should have been 2. It's
2
worse
or
than all
like
the
5.
rest.
Oh.
Or honestly, 1.
How big would that book be?
How many pages? 600?
Make this a single 900-page book.
You probably could have. I mean,
that's a tough sell.
if it's just them going to Kelsingra and figuring out how it works, but focus more on the like, inner group drama of like,
Imagine them floating down the river and you're at page 150 out of 900. People would not be able to finish that book.
You could Attack and Chalced could be a little longer, right? You could actually get some action in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, it does get bad mouthed, but
maybe there could be a fleet of impervious ships that race up the Rainwild River, burning Strayhog and Kasserek as they go, and like an armada of Rainwild ships tries to chase them on their journey up to Kelsingra, and the city has to survive the attack, or I don't know.
They can do one of those like amazing race things where like everyone's got a different vehicle and there's like 2 people driving it. You know those movies?
I know the show, The Amazing Race, classic.
I think that's going to be the next Dungeon Crawler Carl book, right?
Oh shit, really? That's cool. But I think there was like a Looney Tunes movie where it's like all the characters had like a big race.
Rat Race?
Something like that. I don't know.
Mr.
Speed
Bean?
Racer?
So,
no.
Yeah. So this is, in our estimation, clearly the worst part of the series, right?
Yeah,
Tony,
absolutely.
it's not close. Does it do does it do anything better than those ones? Is there any bright
And
spot
from what I'm guessing, the next book might not need any of this information to be known by the reader.
I mean, read and find out. Could be right.
Because it doesn't really feel like there's going to be a ton of direct impacts from the choices made in these books.
There's not a lot. One could probably skip the series, right? And like it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
No, absolutely not. No, I don't want
It's
to
like,
give anything
oh,
away.
the dragons from live ships, they made more dragons. They found that old city from the Farseer
From
trilogy.
Farseer.
I mean, no,
They
yeah.
recolonized it.
You know that's not true, Sean. I was trying to say maybe, but there's just like, yeah, you can't. As much as it pains me, like you'd have to read this series.
I don't know. I don't know. So
And there's this new Finbach family.
yeah,
Does it do
that's not gonna come
anything?
up.
Does it do anything better than the other? Yeah, you know he's not. Does it do anything better than any of the previous series we read? Gay representation
makes-
chipped in?
Yes, there's more gay representation. But like so much of that was better explored with Fitz and the Fool.
Or
Jack and Amber.
yeah. And there's just more stakes with Fitz and the Fool, just like emotionally than
Yep.
any of these.
Yep.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, I mean, I'm like in a different headspace when I read these four. I enjoy them for different reasons. I feel different when I'm reading them. You could construe that as it being a strength. But like that's just how it compares for me. They're easier reads. I think they do a lot of good stuff with the characters, with what dragons are.
Yeah.
I think that they're a nice little treat within the realm of the Elderlings, and I think I'm happy they exist, even if I don't rate them as highly as the other series.
We get a lot more information about dragons, that I will admit. We get more dragon psychology.
Yes, a whole lot. Silver this, silver that.
Yeah.
Venom, etc., etc.
Would you have rather just gotten a sequel trilogy to Live Ships?
I mean, this is that.
No,
Like, kind of.
it is.
I guess
Yeah,
you
it's
have
like half
Malta.
that. It's half that.
You just get killed. Like, what if you
But-
followed Althea, Brashen, and all them again? I guess.
No,
Wintrow. You wouldn't
I
want
couldn't
to.
do that.
Yeah.
I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of done with Althea. I really am. Like when she shows up
Oh
in
my
the series,
God.
thanks. See you later. I don't know.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, I mean, I think this series couldn't survive another injection of competence that Althea and Brashen and Boyo would have given it.
That's true.
You can't have two capable live ship crews and the keepers. They wouldn't balance each other out.
God, imagine Paragon like being docked at Kelsinger this whole time.
Dragons.
Paragon might have helped balance things out a little bit, but
All right.
I kind of wanted there to be a if they weren't going to have telepathy enter stage, I would have preferred a bird messenger of the guild who was sent up on the second expedition with the live ships with the Tarman to convey messages back. I would have really liked to have the messenger bird guild play more of a role in Kelsingra.
Well, I mean, at the end, you know who was handling the birds in Kelsingra? Cedric.
Nobody?
Cedric. He had that one
Yeah.
pigeon. He was maybe it's a sign of things to come. He'll be the bird keeper there.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to join the guild.
Well, he needs to do something. Did you feel any? Because all the other books, all the other books so far have had the Fool. Did you feel any type of destiny thing? There's one instance in this, not this book, but in the series that I felt their destiny was at play, and that was when Cedric felt like he had to drink the blood of it was a spit or whoever, which one he did.
Relpta.
Relpta.
Yeah. Relpta, sorry. Where it was like calling to him to do that. It reminded me of like Live Ships when Rintrah was like called into that cave where She Who Remembers, like he felt like he had to. To me, that always felt like the destiny at play. Same
For me, that felt more like
Also,
pheromones.
yeah, She Who Remembers was using Dragon Glamour on Wintrow then, I guess, right?
I guess so.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But
For
they both
me,
sound
that did
similar.
not feel like destiny. That felt like magic or pheromones.
So none of this, because
Or
like in the greater
skill influence, like silver influence, because in this book, Cedric talks about like the silver inside being like so alluring, like the silver inside the blood that he was like really fixated upon.
Yeah. All right. So there's no destiny going on in this series that had to lead to dragons.
I think
becoming...
the fool would have been there if he was needed. I think his job was largely done. Dragons,
because his job could have failed.
There were multiple ways for dragons to come back at this point.
Yeah,
the only real way that would have happened, the only thing that was in failure, the only thing that was in risk of failure was Tintaglia's first broodling of serpents from Icefire.
Yeah, well, they could have died. She could have died.
All of these dragons died, and
there were
Tintaglia
all of these dragons were never going to be dying.
You don't know. They were fat
kind
cows.
Of close. They were fat cows on the beach.
It wasn't like a guarantee where the Fool's like, "Hey, we're good to go. It's all set." Like, there's definitely more roadblocks that feels like destiny should have needed. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know. How much they thought.
But no. You're right. But
it wasn't a single point of failure anymore. It was many points of failure.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I was trying to connect the dots to like the keepers who didn't choose to be turned into elderlings. Like Cedric didn't choose it. Tymara didn't choose it. Were they like all? It was kind of like the main characters. Were they all chosen for destiny? Like Malta didn't choose it, and these people were all kind of part of the destiny of dragons coming back in a way. But I don't know. Again, I'm reaching. It's just weird that it's just weird that this series has no Fool, has nothing to the bigger picture of like the destiny of like dragons coming back into the world, other than, it does, but yeah, I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
All I can say is I really hope this final trilogy is better. I really hope this final trilogy is better.
Is it frustrating?
It is.
Yes. Is it better? Yes. Quick question. Who is everyone's favorite keeper and dragon duo? The people need to know.
None of them.
What? Oh my god! Not even Sylve and Mercor.
I wanted more. I
guess Rap's going to Hebe.
Hebe was great. No shade to Hebe. Arguably the MVP of the series.
It was Rascal and Hebe. Thymara and Centaura.
Can I cheat?
I'll be basic. They were the best pairing. They were the most explained. It certainly wasn't Alum.
Tintaglia and Nettle. Huh?
Nice.
That's definitely cheating. And,
Lefterin and Tarman.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. And before we leave, you have to choose Kip.
Oh,
Carson.
By the way, Tarman's like modifications never had that gun shot. Like people saw that Tarman was modified and it
Yeah,
just
they're cool with it.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
They
yeah,
were
I mean,
like, it seemed like it had legs, and like that was the last it was mentioned.
Yeah. Like, we got
They're
bigger
like,
problems to
it
worry about.
definitely has legs.
I might have saw a tail for a second. I don't know. Never mentioned again.
Yeah. Again, there's like a lot of things that she just did not follow through on, just or any ramifications.
Yeah.
Yep, you have to choose Carson or Leftrin. Well, I guess Carson's gay, so maybe that's easier for you. Who's the better man?
Ooh. Ooh.
They're both like perfect, weirdly perfect in this series.
Yeah.
I will take Carson.
That's fair.
I will take Carson. But you didn't do the F Mary Kill.
I didn't know if I didn't get as many responses as I thought. I was a little upset. Well, so I said in the Discord, F Mary Kill out of villains in the series, Kyle, Regal, and Hest. And really three of the people who just didn't get the best comeuppances, in my opinion. I guess Regal kind of did. But and you said what was yours? Can I guess yours, Kip?
Sure, guess mine.
Uh
I think it's gonna be the same as me, which is
F Hest.
yeah,
Mary
Kyle.
and kill Kyle. Oh, no. Marry Kyle. Haven't you seen enough, Sean? What are you talking about?
You gotta kill Regal. Although I guess you'd be royalty if you
Yeah,
marry
royalty.
Regal.
Little power hungry.
So what
Are we
was your
both?
guess for me?
Oh, I said you're
Yeah?
no, you're effing Hest. You're gonna kill Kyle and marry Regal. Yeah.
No, Sean got me.
Oh,
Swapping
Yes.
Kyle and Regal.
oh my god.
Regal has to die. Regal must die. And Kyle, at the very least,
He's normal-ish. He's just kind of
he's not as bloodthirsty.
yeah. He's
And
just like a
Regal
shrewd
totally
businessman
is.
with some toxic traits, and you wouldn't want to have kids with him.
Kyle can be like convinced into thinking that torturing his son is a fun activity, but Regal will think of that on his own.
And I guess if you marry
yeah.
Kyle, he's mostly out at sea all the time. You don't have to see him that much. You know. Right?
Yeah.
Sailing for
I
like
don't know.
8 months of the year.
I think you can lock him up on that island and just keep him there.
Well, I guess he used to be good at a certain point, right? I mean, in early days of the relationship, if you know, got
Yeah,
married.
with Kefria. Kefria seemed to be
Yeah.
having a good time.
For a little bit. All right.
Yeah,
I guess that's the right
yeah,
way.
just don't give him a live ship, and it'll be mostly okay.
Give him no financial control of the accounts. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, good luck not
And then
getting seduced by Hest after that one fling. Manipulated.
I'm not impressed.
All right. That's it. We did it. We survived the Rain Wild Chronicles.
Don't say survived.
Sorry.
We did though. We survived, and I finished that last one in like 2 days. So clearly, I was not dreading it as much as I have dreaded some other books I've read for this pod.
Love to hear it.
I guess we should say so. We're gonna finish the series, right? I think
Mhm.
Yep.
Sean and I, we're gonna take a little break. Sean and I are gonna finish the Dandelion Dynasty
Oh,
series,
baby.
the last book, which is like 1,000 pages. God help us. Kip, what do you tell the people what you're going to be doing? What are you covering for the pod during our intermission? Do you know?
So much. We're going to be doing another culture book. We're going to be doing more of our Kosigan books. We're going to be doing what else? Possibly something for Halloween.
Oh,
And we're going to be continuing with the War of Light and Shadow.
good lord.
Nice.
That's my intermission.
Well, you're faster readers than we are.
Myself and Huron and Ashaman are going to be doing an Expedition 33 episode in the near future.
Oh, what is that?
It's a video game.
Oh, look at us. Get into
Yeah.
video games. Are you like reviewing the game? You're playing through it and then
I mean, I'm done with it already, but I wouldn't say it's a review, but it's a discussion. It's a discussion.
yeah. And let's put this out there. There's nothing set in stone, but there is a chance that Hobb herself might be on this podcast. Sean, I know you're nervous. Here's
It's not nervous.
You back down immediately. So I can't do it.
I just didn't commit immediately.
No, of course. Kip bowed out immediately as well and said he's not worthy.
I'm not worthy. And given my reactions to this series, I think maybe it's a good thing that I don't go into a Hobb interview with this is my last experience of her.
Oh, you could talk about anything. I have that question
Absolutely
from
could.
Dial it
But
up. About
I trust you. I trust you to make a fun episode.
I could do
maybe I will hop on.
And possibly interview with Dr. Ada Palmer. We might finally be doing that. So.
Whoa! I mean that you wouldn't survive. I don't know.
I survived David Brin. I survived Daniel O'Malley solo. I'm getting better at this.
No, you're great at it.
Nice.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for listening to us throughout our Hobb journey. And again, join us on the Legendarium's Discord, where a lot of people are going through Hobb. We have a couple of people going through the Live Ship trilogy at the moment. I think Enzio is going through Rain Wild. And I think Wombat and Nat are going to finally finish the last trilogy. Good luck to them with that. So yeah, come join us there. And yeah, thank you, Craig, for letting us hang in here. Thank you for Horizon Brave for starting this. And thank you to Galactic Damages by Jingle Punk for the music. So we'll see you for the last trilogy.
Bye.
Bye.